Welcome back. This time we're talking about the 7th episode of Disney XD's DuckTales series, The Infernal Internship of Mark Beaks. This is one of the few episodes so far to center on an entirely new character and not one from either the original cartoon or the original comics, which is pretty obvious once we meet Mark Beaks. He is a very modern character, obsessed with social media, and an obvious play on Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook. He is obsessed with joining the Billionaires Club, whose members include Uncle Scrooge and Flintheart Glomgold, who actually put aside their differences for a change to take on this newcomer, who annoys them with both his obsession with social media and his music choices. Huey and Dewey, however, are just the right age to be enamored with this social media magnate, especially after he offers them internships. Unfortunately, it turns out there's actually only one internship to go around, and they're going to have to fight for it, with Huey doing his best to accomplish each task set for them, while Dewey, as usual, kind of tries to just laze his way through the entire situation. Joining the mix is Falcon Graves, a professional saboteur who announces that he's a professional saboteur upon his arrival and tries to force Beaks into giving up the secrets of his new technology, the Tada. Meanwhile, Scrooge listens to Flint yammer on about a highly convoluted plan to get rid of Beaks. Now, I have to admit, I really wasn't feeling this episode for much of the first two acts, unlike most of the preceding episodes that I've really enjoyed. The character of Beaks just seemed like someone we've seen in other comedies, the parody of the overly social media conscious billionaire, or almost billionaire in this case. It just wasn't really working for me. I really was enjoying Uncle Scrooge's exasperation with Flint's terribly convoluted plans, but considering this is really one of the first entirely new characters to be introduced, I was a little disappointed on how, kind of trite it all was. That being said, however, once the reveal occurred, in which we find out that Mark actually hired Graves to steal his non-existent technology, I really found myself getting much more engaged with the story. He became much more of just a stereotype, and instead became someone much more interesting, and was someone that we could actually tie into the Huey and Dewey storyline, in which he really was trying to laze his way to the top instead of doing all the work. And I have to say, I really enjoyed Graves' character, just how he was so offended by this whole thing. I mean, he's a saboteur. I mean, essentially your kids' show version of an assassin. And he has standards. And this Beaks guy is messing with his standards. And I really enjoyed his character, more so than Beaks, actually, even after the reveal. All of this, of course, culminates in the confrontation at the end, where our two brothers have sort of their lesson learned for this episode, when Dewey has to turn to Huey to save the day with his actual, skills that result in an actual plan. Although Dewey has his moment as well. What I really love are just the little moments in this show. Like, after the suitcase is open and it's revealed to have millions of dollars, and I think it's Dewey that just says, yeah, the Billionaires Club just needs better security. It's a simple one-liner, but there's a dryness to it that I really appreciate and really enjoyed in the episode. Speaking of the end of the episode, however, we find out that Flint was planning to double-cross Scrooge all along, and he leaves, not before turning the music back on, but we do get to see that Beaks gets the invitation that was the start of Flint's overly convoluted plan to throw him into lava inside a volcano. So, unless we see Beaks again, are we now to assume that he did meet the fiery fate, which is a little dark? I have to admit, I enjoyed it. I found it really funny. I'm guessing we will see him again, just to dispel the idea that he did meet such a fate if Flint's plan would actually work, which is a big if. But it was a fun way to end the episode and kind of leave you going, how is that going to end up? So all in all, I don't think this was one of their stronger episodes. The third act definitely redeemed the first two. I enjoyed the Graves character much more than the Beaks character. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to you. Who was your favorite character introduced in this episode? As always, you can subscribe to my channel, check out some other reviews, and until next time, be sure to deliver your boss's 2:15 coffee at 2:15.